Ooh, oh, come on. Not a black screen. There we go. Excellent. I honestly thought... I tried to make this video before, and for some reason I was getting a black screen out there. We're all good. Yeah, hello everybody. Welcome, welcome. December 1st. It's a big day for me. I got about 1,000 things to say before we get into the game here, which sucks because I also want... you know, the video to not get that long. Start of December. If you've been following my channel this year, I've basically been in crisis figuring out exactly what I want to do and what kind of videos I want to make. So I don't want to do like some massive channel update here, but one of the things that I've been really keen on for ages, and in fact, several times over this year, dating back even to early this summer, I've actually been making videos of, is this game, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So this is a 2018 release. Mind-blowingly, that I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud, was nearly half a decade. That is nearly half a decade old. This is the final game in the newest reboot of Tomb Raider, which started with 2013's Tomb Raider with the the boat crash and the Isle of Yamatai and all of that. 2013, that is nearly a decade ago. I mean, unbelievable. So, if you guys have followed my channel over the years, you will have seen I cover a lot of Tomb Raider. I'm a big fan of the Tomb Raider franchise. I've never played the classics online on YouTube, but they're probably my favorite. But I did a bunch of the previous reboot, and then with this new reboot, I played 2013 with you guys. Maybe you'll remember that quite clearly. I played Rise as well, the immediate predecessor game to this. But in 2018, with Shadow, I didn't do a YouTube series out of it, and it's like been hanging over my head for ages. I really want to do this YouTube series. But there is a big reason why. I mean, partly because I've been distracted with other stuff. Actually, hold on, while I'm ranting away here, do you guys want to see the benchmark here? This is a gorgeous game, all right? This will give you a little bit of a suggestion of just how pretty this game is. I don't know whether I'll get perfectly great frames here. I think I've got stuff set up probably in a fairly inoptimal way. But yeah, so 2018 came around. And I wanted to do a project on this game, but here's the problem, right? I'm actually not that big of a fan of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and this has been the problem I've had this year as well, making videos about this. Because I want to show you guys this, I want to talk about Tomb Raider, I want to keep covering the franchise. But this game is a letdown, okay? Alright, it's an okay game, it's a pretty good game, except it has a bad ending, okay? And so if the ending kind of sucks, and it's not just the ending to this one game, it's the ending to the whole trilogy, it kind of leaves a bit of a sour taste or whatever, right? So, this is going to be a bit of a weird playthrough, because usually when I do a playthrough, it's because I'm just a complete, frothing at the mouth fan of the thing. But we are going to hit a point on this where, you'll see it before your own eyes, where the quality seems to dip or things seem to not be too perfect. But I don't want to talk too badly about it. It is, generally speaking, if it wasn't just for some of the stuff towards the ending, a very good game. It is a game I've wanted to play for ages. And, one of the big reasons why I want to do it here in 2022 is, okay, so look, there was this whole other side to Tomb Raider, which is the ending of this game gave me the impression that they were, like, done with Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider, you guys have got to remember, some of you guys might not know this, as a guy in the UK, all right, original Tomb Raider done by Core Design, I believe was a UK studio. I'm a big fan of Tomb Raider and was very, very aware growing up of how big and popular and successful. It was like one of gaming's biggest IPs, People think like the biggest IPs in gaming. You think Super Mario, you also think Tomb Raider, you really do, or for a long time you did. But this franchise has just basically been mishandled for years, and kind of isn't up there among the kings anymore. And I, honest to God, thought that after Shadow, they were just going to leave it and let it lie. But I think this year was the 25th anniversary. This place is gorgeous. I can't wait for us to get here later. I think it was the 25th anniversary this year. And there was a bunch of news that there are going to be more games. And in fact, the later games are going to be based on this Lara Croft. This character that we're playing here, and we're going to go through this story on, is who they're going to continue later on down the line. They're actually going to do something really weird where they try to like unify the timelines of all three eras of the series, which is just insane. We'll talk more about that all later, I guess. But anyway, there's reasons to be excited about this, and I kind of want to see what they have in store, which is much better position to be in than when this came out a few years ago. And I just thought, oh god, they've just killed Tomb Raider. That's sort of how I felt. Not that there's like any character deaths or anything here that you have to worry about necessarily. But yeah, I didn't get a good feeling from it. So yeah, that's what I want to do. We're going to run through. There's also a ton of other stuff to talk about with the channel, which I guess I'll try and hold off on. But yeah, these are going to be very regular. We'll get regular videos out. I will be doing daily videos going forwards. I kind of gave myself a cut-off. You guys, I've been in real crisis and trying to figure out so much stuff out these past few weeks. And I told myself, look, by the time the start of December comes around, you have just got to do something. So that's what we're going to do throughout December at the very least. There will be daily videos. We'll be playing through this and some other stuff. So yeah, there you go. Let's jump on in. For people who don't know the story, okay, this is the third game in a trilogy and it does continue a story. Don't worry, it's pretty shallow and I'll explain it to you. But for everyone else, you know, hopefully we get a bit better out of this. I just clicked continue there, not new game. So you guys are going to get spoilers for the next couple of minutes of the game here. We're going to have to go through this loading screen, and then I doubt they'll give us a new game option directly from the thing. No, exit to main menu. There we go. And then we'll actually start. This game does do a lot of things very well, quite interestingly, and I think you see that straight away here. Yeah, with the difficulties. So you've got 4 difficulties, smart and resourceful, because, you know, we're not allowed to say easy anymore. I played God of War recently, and I saw that like their easy mode isn't called easy mode. Like, everyone seems to be allergic to just saying easy mode now. What, do gamers have such a complex about it and so insecure about being judged for it? So no, we got easy, Rite of Passage, One with the Jungle, and Deadly Obsession. I've never beaten this on Deadly Obsession. What I'm going to do here is actually a mix, alright? We're going to do normal combat, so that's like, you know, shooting and how much health we have and whatever. But for the other two, I'm actually going to crank these up, because these are actually really cool. I don't think that the other games gave us this option either, which is pretty awesome. Exploration. So a lot of people aren't a fan of this reboot of Tomb Raider because, like, the exploration is really on rails. You just, like, jump around and clamber on stuff willy-nilly. Because they always mark it in white. They always, like, put this chalk everywhere, if you guys remember. Well, that's not something you have to live with in this game. If you bump this up to hard, it takes the chalk away. And it makes the whole game so much more immersive. It's awesome, okay? It's very cool. And I've played a good chunk of the game with this, like this. It's also possible I'll get more lost and stuff, but hey, that'll be entertaining, right? And then puzzle difficulty basically doesn't mean much, I don't think. It's just sort of a survival instincts thing. We'll get to that. So yeah, technically I guess I'm going to do this as One with the Jungle. So yeah, this game's set in Mexico, by the way, which the cliffhanger of the previous game showed Lara and her friend Jonah looking at a map as they leave a room, and I think I talked about it in the previous series when I was covering it, and that is where this is. Actually, I recommend you guys pause this and go check out the trailer. I'm not going to put it on because I don't know if I'll get copyright struck or whatever, but the trailer is very cool. This is to do with an apocalypse, which is, you know, always fun. Oh yeah, this back screen here as well. Shadow of the Tomb Raider was created by a diverse and talented team comprised of multiple genders, backgrounds, ethnicities, religious beliefs, and personalities. I don't think the other games had, like, that disclaimer there, that diversity disclaimer. I don't know. It's because there was a different studio working on this. It's not just Crystal Dynamics. It's Eidos Montreal made this with Crystal Dynamics helping out. So this game is a bit different. And actually, I mean, it's just someone playing it. Who do you know where to look at? But any disappointments I have, maybe I'll blame on Eidos Montreal. We'll see. But for what it's worth, let me just pause this real quick before the cutscene comes in. I think that diversity message is there too, because they're, like, insecure about what Tomb Raider is, right? Which is, you know, white girl from wealth travels the world, blowing up temples and trampling on other people's cultures or whatever. And I guess in the modern era, that looks very insensitive. So in a lot of ways, this game is very, very careful about stuff like that. And that message is one of the first things you'll see. They actually have a really cool game option. I'll show you guys in a second, which does more of that. Anyway, here's the opening cutscene. This game opens a lot like 2013 did. Because, you know, it's the end of the trilogy, so they're bookending the story. They're making callbacks.
What are you doing? I'm gonna level it.
So wow, we're on a plane. What's going on? And we're in a storm. Nobody knows why. Don't worry, you're not out of the loop. What the hell is going on? Yeah, see, in collaboration with Crystal Dynamics. And I don't know why that change was made, by the way.
I know.
Oh, I'm going to ruin the cutscene here as well. Another thing I really want to say, okay, that is really kind of cool, actually, and makes me a bit more excited about Tomb Raider now, is this whole thing with Crystal Dynamics. I know a lot of people didn't like this reboot trilogy, and so kind of got turned off of Tomb Raider. I just mentioned it was like one of the greatest IPs out there, and now what is it or whatever. People don't think about it much. A lot of people don't like Crystal Dynamics and what they did with the series. And believe it or not, this year, not only was there news about this going on or whatever, but I think... Didn't Crystal Dynamics sell Tomb Raider? I think that's what it was. I think it's literally been sold. They don't even own it anymore. They don't do anything with it. It got sold to THQ Nordic, who do a lot of like re-releases and remasters and prop up old IPs and stuff. So it's pretty cool. And also, by the way, I think Crystal Dynamics sold it for like Bitcoin or something, didn't they? I don't know. People in the comments or the live chat can correct me on that. But there's some insane story where they sold it for some ridiculous reason. But yeah, so there's a lot happening with Tomb Raider at the moment. Anyway, all right, back to the cutscene. Sorry, I'll try not to pause in the middle of these all the time. Got my coffee. Oh.
Get ready to jump.
No fucking way!
No, we have to.
Are you out of your fucking mind, Lara?
We have no choice.
Get that fucking out of this plane!
So Jonah gets losted. That's just like in Lost when the tail end of the plane breaks off. You know, and the tailies get separated. I hope I can make Lost references in this day and age and people still know what I'm talking about. And she crashes. So what is that all about? Nice action-packed intro. They're going to tell us now 2 days earlier. Yeah, look, this 2 days earlier message.
Jonah, you there?
Listen, I'm such a dumbass that when I first played this game, I don't know what was wrong with me. I didn't register this message the 2 days earlier. And I thought this was the most ridiculous intro to a game I'd ever seen because I'd forgotten about 2 days earlier. So obviously what the story is now going to do is explain to us how we get to a plane crash. I played it thinking Lara was just going to get into 2 plane crashes back to back, which is so stupid of me, but hey. Yeah, so we're rewinding. And it's like you can't blame me too badly though, because if you have a look here, look, she's in a cave and she's all banged up. This easily could be after the planes crashed. She's separated from Jonah, right? And in the first game, after the Endurance sinks, we wake up in a cave.
Jonah, I'm here. Just a little stuck. A rock hit my leg.
Don't move, I'll get help.
No, I'm right on Trinity's tail. I don't want to attract attention.
I'm on my way.
I won't be long.
See, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it obviously seems a bit weird that you would be in a plane crash and end up in a cave. But, maybe it was just a real impact, you know, and like superhero style. She got buried in there. All right, so basic mechanics here. We need to tap E to, you know, use the knife. The knife we'll use for a ton of stuff. This is the survival trilogy, if you will. So, you know, our tools, our trusted companions are a big part of it. One thing I do want to tell you guys, though, all right, is whenever you see, while I'm playing this, whenever you see this, it's going to look on the UI like I'm tapping E. I'm actually not. This here, I'm holding E. And that's a little tip for anyone who plays this alongside me. Just hold E. There's like 2 or 3 situations in the whole game where that's not necessary. And we'll get to them when we get it. So yeah, it's all a lot easier than it looks. I don't know whether when you're playing it on console, do you have that luxury? I'm sure you do. It's probably just like hold X or whatever. So yeah, man, this game. All right, one thing that I've really struggled with all 3 of these Tomb Raider games is, you know, they're so much grittier and more sincere, and like darker and more tortured and like edgy. Usually, I think of myself as someone who quite enjoys edgy stuff, but there's like so little fun in these games because they're so like the stakes are always so high and so, you know, everything's always so dangerous, and she's getting flesh ripped off and You know, it's just torture porn, a lot of it. And I don't know, the second I started Shadow all those years ago, I can still remember very clear. I was like, oh god, this is what it's going to be. It's going to be Camilla Luddington playing as Lara, breathing heavily, and scowling in pain for 10 hours or whatever. By the way, Shadow is the shortest of the 3 games. So I don't know how long this will actually be. If you're looking at my previous Let's Plays of these and thinking this will be the same length as those. To be honest, I can't even really remember. What were they, like 20 episodes or something? This is shorter than those. So there we go, we're out. Our trusty pickaxe. You know, Lara used to be known for dual-wielding pistols. I think at this point, for the Survivor trilogy, it's easy to say that she's known for the pickaxe, which actually does appear. You guys are gonna remember the dual-wielding pistols thing. It was not really in the other games. It was a secret thing. Well, kind of a thing in the final boss fight of the first one. And you might be wondering, as Shadow progresses, will she finally get her dual-wielding pistols? I guess we'll see. Alright, so here we are. We're in a cave.
Jonah, I'm out. Be careful, the way into the site is full of traps.
Trinity's not done with it yet.
They're protecting something.
Oh yeah, someone in the live chat. Hello to everyone watching live, by the way. Someone just said it's an accessibility setting for
I
controllers.
talked to some people in town, and they're excited. There's a VIP coming to the Day of the Dead.
It might be an accessibility setting here too.
We should look into it.
Okay, alright, so look, Jonah just mentioned this guy, Dominguez. Remember, we're tracking Trinity. Dominguez has never been mentioned before now, ever, in the trilogy. But Dominguez is a huge character in this game. You're either going to really like that or dislike it. I actually quite like the character. I'm probably jumping the gun a little bit here, though. Okay, so for example, as we're climbing this, if I hadn't set that thing onto hard mode, this would all just be plastered with white. But I actually do have to sort of look at what texture I might be able to jump to. So we get the overhang climb here. This is a new mechanic, I'm pretty sure. I actually saw this really cool stream from the devs where they showed off all the mechanics they were prototyping in this game, like parachuting around and stuff. Anyway, this, you never used to just straight up get to go upside down in the other games. What they kind of do here at the start, I think, is they give you all the basic movement controls and some of the new innovations for returning players. The truth is, that overhang thing, mechanically, puzzle-wise, whatever, it doesn't actually really mean anything. It's just more climbing around. So get one of these giant wheels, which always makes me think of Crash Bandicoot.
I made it.
I'm on my way in. Almost there.
Sorry I didn't wait. Be careful.
I don't actually know what those are. I would love to hear someone in the comments explain, because that is very, like, I have seen those my whole life. Oh, one of the cool things about this game as well is it's a bit like the very original Tomb Raider, in that we're in the same area of the world again, and we're dealing with, like, Mesoamerica. To be honest with you guys, I pretty much suck at knowing the difference between Aztec and Inca and Maya. It would be useful to know that as you play this game. You probably get a lot more, because actual analysis of history and stuff is pretty good in this. But I kind of suck at it. All I really remember is that one of them, the Mayan civilization, is actually younger than, like, Oxford University in the UK, isn't it? Is it Mayan or is it Aztec? See, I don't know. I can't remember. So we get a constellation of stars.
Lara. Wow. Get a load of this place. Guess all that research paid off. Now we know what Trinity is after.
Yeah, they really didn't want us in here.
I'm glad we followed your father's notes. I saw where the passage collapsed on you back there. You want me to take a look at that wound?
No, I'm fine.
What is all this?
Constellations. This inscription is some sort of riddle. Pink fish.
Pink fish.
Silver-crowned mountain. There's a date here. But something's off. Looks like it was damaged, perhaps intentionally.
Why would Trinity sabotage this? They usually just destroy everything.
No, I think the damage is older. But who would have tampered with it?
I like this. That moment there, if you think about it, it's kind of like a double trap she triggers there. She triggers the old trap. Well, is it a trap or is it just a loose brick? I don't know. But then there's the new Trinity technology there too.
Lara! We gotta get out of here.
And that little moment there as well, by the way. Lara stumbles around, accidentally triggers something that she shouldn't have. That's basically the whole game right there. I'm sure that they did that in this cutscene to specifically be like this little example of what the whole story's about. So reckless. Imagine if that just hits her. That's it. It's over. Okay, this bit's weird. All right.
Move!
Because I get the impression here, right? You see how we ran out of that cave, it cut to black, and now we're just here straight in another cutscene, running along. I get the feeling that they cut a section of the game out there. Don't you guys think it would have made sense right there for there to be like a running sequence where you get a bit more basic controls in, a bit more jumping, dodging to the left of some rubble, dodging to the right? I'm so I've got absolutely no proof for it, but I'm so confident that they cut a bit out there because again, this game is like very constrained and you can feel that things have been cut out. I don't know. That's the first little bit for me. Or you could just say it's a cutscene.
I'd still be in there taking pictures.
We'd still be in there. Don't know if you'd be doing much.
Don't know.
Hey, you want to freshen up? Regroup at the cafe? Dr. Dominguez is supposed to be there tonight.
Sounds good. I'll try and decipher the riddle, see if the date has anything to do with it.
Right. Pinkfish, Silver Crown Mountains, I'll look into it. By the way, this cafe is supposed to have really good food. I know the chef.
I'm not very hungry.
After all of that, I'm starving.
I do love this opening sequence. We're going to be at a party, the Day of the Dead. Cozumel in Mexico. And this sequence is awesome. There's a lot to love about the start of this game. Probably the first half. I'll tell you when it peaks. I'll tell you. I'm wondering how many people watching this right now have actually played this. I'd love to hear people's views.
There he is.
Anything new on Dr. Dominguez?
Not much. He's leading a few Trinity digs in the area.
My father mentioned him in his journal more than once. He's an expert on pre-colonial ruins.
Everyone says he's a great guy. Big help to the town. So how's your leg?
Trying to look. The riddle. Its directions. To find the hidden city, go south along the shore until you find the pink fish.
I found something for that. It's pink dolphins, found only in the Amazon.
It goes on. Then chase the heart of the serpent to the silver-crowned mountain. Look at this. It's the constellation Hydra, the serpent. This star is the heart. It's set in the southwest.
So southwest from the Amazon River. Brazil.
Peru.
Peru?
Okay, this date from the ruins, see? If you look closely, it is damaged. This number looks like a Maya 13, but what if it's really an 8? With precession, it...
What?
Precession. The Earth tilts, so over time, these stars appear in a different place on the horizon. Important if you're navigating by the night sky.
Okay.
In the Maya calendar, that's a 2,000-year difference. Back then, the heart of the serpent set directly to the west.
So that's why it's in Peru, not Brazil. Trinity has been looking in the wrong place.
Exactly. We need to look for the silver-crowned mountain in Peru. There's more. Something about a key. What is Trinity looking for in the hidden city?
Doctor, we found it.
Yes. Show me.
You heard that too, right?
Let's see where he goes.
I do like
Wait,
that little
hold on.
explanation.
Trinity's watching this place. Let's try to blend in.
Oh, I love this mask. We genuinely look so cool in this mask. I don't know what it is. I think it's the hood as well. But I love this sequence. So yeah, we're just basically wander along here now. Speaking to Jonah and sort of sauntering through the party. Yeah, I like that thing of how we figure out it's Peru, not Brazil. They get through a lot of stuff really fast. But it does make Trinity look a bit stupid. Like, what, that they really couldn't have figured that out? Okay, so I could play, or I could show you this, which is that in our option, well, not options menu, in our inventory or whatever. Okay, we get a bit of detail about the game. This is the first area. All right, so Cozumel, as you can see here, and this long path. This is basically the first stuff we're gonna play. It's really not as long as it looks. The rest of the game will be here, location unknown. But we just heard Lara talking about it, a mountain, and Peru. So that's the world map. You've got side missions. We have none of those just yet. Now there's artifacts, and you'll see I've already got some artifacts. So artifacts in this game are listed under like chapter headings. So we have 3 artifacts for the Path of the Stars, and there's also Lara's notebook. So they've already started filling stuff in. So I really recommend people look at these nice and fast, because it will remind you of some of the other story details. So for example, we've got Jonah with us, our long-term childhood friend. Well, what else do we learn? So here, there's a badge. Here, Lara will teach us a bit about Trinity to get us back in the loop.
Trinity is an ancient and secretive organization ruled by an Illuminati-like High Council that has existed since the time before Christ. They are determined to find and exploit all of the ancient artifacts of the world. I've been hunting them since I found out they killed my father. Jonah and I have tracked down so many Trinity cells since then, but all of the other ruins and tombs we found were destroyed, except the one in Cozumel. I need to find out what they're after, what their endgame is, and stop them.
So yeah, the previous game, if you guys remember, did reveal this, that these guys are like, they're from the time before Christ, but they're like biblical, aren't they? And they're all I don't know whether it's fair to call them Christian or whatever, but they're crusading around. Like in the previous game, Jacob, the character we met, was an actual prophet and stuff, and they really believed in. You know, he was actually an immortal guy. So you got to remember that in Tomb Raider, it's kind of the real world, but real magic does exist, and a lot of legends and myths and things. There is actual real power out there. So yeah, they're a big bad cult with a very long history. Next, okay, so here's the riddle.
To find the hidden city, go south along the shore until you find the pink fish. Then chase the heart of the serpent to the Silver Crown Mountain where the twins confer.
So what are the twins? This question here, what are the twins? That's kind of like the big question of the game, so don't worry about that for now. We don't really understand this. This idea that pink fish are dolphins, by the way. Jonah says that. I know that fact already, just normally, because of David Attenborough, like Life on Earth. Has anyone seen it? I'm sure that they have an episode where they talk about, like, the dolphins that swim in the Amazon River and stuff. What's weird to me, though, is that I always thought that pink fish was like a new name for those, not some like super ancient name. But anyway, the Hydra constellation.
This is the star Alphard, the solitary one, the brightest star in the western sky and the heart of the Hydra constellation. 2,000 years ago, it's set in the west. That's where I hope to find the hidden city.
Back in the summer, when I was making other videos on this game, I wikied this because I was confused. Because I hadn't really heard of the Hydra constellation. She says it's set in the west. I'm sure I read on Wiki that it hasn't set. Can't you still see it? And can't you still see Alphard? I remember reading about it. And by the way, there's going to be loads of these. I'm not going to say we're going to sit here for hours and hours and hours and hours listening to, you know, Camilla very slowly reading all of these out. It's actually kind of one of the problems of the game. But I'll get through these first few. So this is the last one, the Mayan date.
In the Maya long count calendar, all dates have 5 numbers. This numeral was damaged to look like a 13. But what if it's really an 8? That's a 2,000-year difference, and the constellations would be in a completely different position. So the star path would lead west to somewhere in Peru.
Now, if you guys are anything like me, you didn't know that they had a different writing system or what it was or anything. This game's actually quite cool in that it teaches you it. And there is a puzzle later on where you actually learn how it works and you utilize what you've learned, which is quite cool. But yeah, so Lara's idea is that this whole bit of the L here was broken off. And that's what led them astray. We also have this here. It says examine to find...
on the left pillar is 0.
Yeah, it says examine to find extra information. Real problem for PC players. This was a mechanic in the other games, obviously. If you're playing on an Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller, it will vibrate, and it will vibrate more fiercely as you hone in on the sweet spot. For me, on mouse and keyboard right now, I don't get that, so I might swap in a few episodes, I don't know. But this was a pain in the arse a lot of the time, because you get like the tiniest little sound cue, like a little ding noise. It's so quiet, and I'm not going to be able to hear it very well while I'm sitting here ranting away. But, yeah, so... You can get a little bit of extra info out of those. I can't remember if that's needed for any achievements or whatever. Okay, let's
Trinity's
go
people
play.
are armed. I heard they brought in reinforcements.
I'll stay out of their way. I want to avoid what happened with the last cell we took down.
I can show you that
Must
cool
know we were
option
at the other
too.
site. So much for a night off.
Where did Dominguez go?
He can't be far. He must be in the courtyard somewhere.
Yeah,
Let's look around.
See, it's weird because
someone must know something.
to me this party scene is incredibly
How's it
dense
going?
and has a load of detail. It's very elaborate. And I'm super blown away by it. I don't know now though. This obviously came out in 2018 and blew my mind. Because we're a couple of years on, are people unimpressed now? I don't
All
know.
this food is making my stomach grumble.
Guess you should have eaten.
I was too excited.
As usual.
All right, okay, I'm going to show you a cool thing. Remember this diversity
sign
message
of
they
him?
had?
No. Let's keep looking.
Right, here, I'll show you a very, very cool option based on that. Let's speak to this lovely lady here. Is she pregnant? She's holding her stomach.
Can you believe it? This one was caught drinking the ofrendas.
Oh dear. I'm sure I was just as mischievous as a child.
No need to punish him. The tequila will take care of that on its own. He drank enough.
Okay, I don't know what an ofrendas is, by the way. Some kind of booze. Right, so that she spoke to us. We are technically, though, in Cozumel, Mexico, though. So you wouldn't actually expect her to just straight up speak to us in English, would you? This is the coolest feature. I mean, there's a lot of really great options and things in this game. If you check this out, I can't remember. Did I talk to you guys about the DLCs? I guess I'll hold my tongue and I'll rewatch the video and see. There's this option here, voice over immersion, right? It says most characters speak in their native language for a more immersive experience. So you can toggle this on, and this is actually a really fun way to play the game. This is how, on all my previous playthroughs, I have played this game. What will now happen as we wander around and we speak to NPCs, I guess I can't speak to her a second time, but we'll find someone else in a moment. This kid playing with this, what is that, a sparkler? Hello, kid.
Para mi papá.
Maybe I could light one for my mother. I'm not
So-
really used to crowds.
You'd rather storm guards or the deathless?
No, this is fine.
So you will actually hear people speaking in their native language now.
Jonah, he's at the gate.
I see.
And it's especially cool when you start dealing with, like, very old cultures and lost civilizations and stuff. They can really, really play and lean into it. The weird thing, unfortunately, is Lara. The idea is Lara, I guess, can speak their language or whatever. You got to suspend your disbelief a little bit because she's just still speaking with her sort of semi-bad English accent. Which can be a bit, you know, I think this game gets a lot of unfair criticism due to that. But what a cool feature, right?
Be sure I'm not followed.
The downside...
I think I can find another way over the wall.
Oh, Jonah's a legend here. The downside here... Okay.
Hey, fellas, how you doing?
Good. You can't come through this way.
I heard there was some kind of a crazy fiesta, like chicks and skull makeup. Y'all know anything about that?
It's not for tourists.
No, you know, Maria invited me. You know her? She's my cousin. Might as well
You know her?
Don't look like it. Rest her soul. I wanted to make like an offering. What's that thing you do with the blankets? All right. You know what? I can see you guys are busy. I won't waste any more of your time. Y'all keep on trucking. Thanks for your service. Keeping us safe.
Alright, so we're separated. I love the way he says, yeah, I'll keep on trucking. Yeah, the downside
Jonah,
is
I'm in.
you're going to have to read the subtitles.
Those guards weren't at the gate earlier. Dominguez must suspect something.
So while I did that on my other playthroughs, as far as making YouTube videos for you guys, I don't know. I think maybe I should put them all on English so that you guys can listen on another screen, you know, play whatever other game you guys are doing or whatever, listen to it like a podcast or something. So I don't know, maybe people can sort of drop their comments, their thoughts, their feelings, all here in the live chat. But you know, it is kind of that thing of like you do actually have to properly watch and focus, otherwise there's going to be huge tracks of the game where you're not hearing any English really, or you're hearing half the conversation in English. I'll leave it on for now though, just to give you guys a sense. And I assume at the start, at least, people are active using.
Yes, sir. Even after the fiasco in Brazil, no one questions your leadership of the organization.
We've come too far to stop now.
Yes, sir. They're ready for anything.
Man, we get so close to him here. This seems kind of weird because, you know, a minute ago we could push through some of the crowd, but it's kind of hard for me to tell who exactly you can or can't. Hello, sir.
Nunca tuvimos nuestra luna de miel.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Quizás haga el viaje por mi cuenta.
Well, perhaps I'll make the trip alone. You know, this makes me think of, I don't know where it is. There was something I saw on Reddit the other day. Well, I say the other day, a while ago now. Where,
Pardon?
it was about some people who literally dig up their dead. Straight up dig them up for a couple of days a year.
Jonah, Dominguez
Take
is not
pictures
just the
with them and
leader
stuff.
of the cell. I think he's the leader of Trinity.
We need to be careful.
Oh, yeah, okay, alright. Okay, immediately, yes. Dominguez, remember what I said a second ago? We've never heard of him. We don't know, you know, not mentioned whatsoever here. We just hear he's this guy that was in Richard's notes a little bit. Yeah, he's the leader of Trinity.
Yeah, I heard you.
Straight away, this game just throws that at you. And the reason that this game throws that at you is because it's trying to finish the story real quick. So, Trinity have gone from being really mysterious and interesting to being insanely powerful and, like, just baddies. And now suddenly here at the beginning of this game, it's like, oh yeah, we're dealing with the leader of Trinity. You're going to find out that Dominguez, wears a lot of hats, and he does a lot for this game.
My fault.
So yeah, we really are, we're ending this story here, and they don't have that long of a game, and so massive revelations like that you might expect to come out, you know, a third of the way into the game or after some massive moment, they'll just be casually and offhandedly mentioned. Oh yeah, that guy's the leader, by the way. Moving on, you know? And there's just something odd about it.
At the first sight, we think it was Croft.
Wait,
What's wrong?
I want confirmation. No more guessing.
By the way, look at this. Look at all the environment here, all the details. It's just so much stuff on all these.
I'll try the back alley.
I'll find another way around it.
There's just so much stuff on all these desks, just cluttered and littered around. I mean, it really is gorgeous. One of the things I'm really happy about with YouTube here is I can like stream an episode out live and have it on a good enough quality. You guys can hopefully enjoy this. This is cool here as well. We go to the side of the party. It gets a bit dark. It gets a bit quiet.
Doctor, son muchos de sus hombres.
You can never be too safe. You're very gracious. Thank you.
We should go.
See, so we now know he's the leader of Trinity. The way they write it as well is Lara saying, I think. He is, okay. Who we know are horrible, yet he's really nice to all the people in the town. They all love him. What's up with that? Love graffiti. 20A. Not quite sure what that means.
Yeah, this is Commander Rourke. Dominguez wants confirmation Croft is here. You have the photo. Female, Caucasian, early 20s. You got that?
Well,
Good. They'll find her.
good. I don't want anyone getting in there.
Okay, now that other guy as well. So we got Dominguez and that guy on the phone there in the suit. Rourke. Rourke is the other big character for the game. Who I will hold my tongue on, so I don't get too spoilery here.
Oye, fuera de mi oficina.
Sorry.
Cierra la puerta al salir.
Right.
Get out of my office. He's literally sitting on a pile of trash. That's funny. Little boy trips over.
Don't worry. Go, play.
The readings at the site are unlike anything we've ever seen.
It's the key to our...
You know what this makes me think of? This makes me think a bit of Pablo Escobar, which might have been an influence for all of this. I don't know. When I first played this game, I hadn't seen it, but there's this TV show, Narcos. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of it. I was recommended to it by my little brother a few months ago now. And, you know, it's all about all this, you know, this drug money but how he actually spent a certain period in his life, he spent it and really, you know, built schools and propped up neighborhoods and stuff. And so you got this quite despotic guy, but also the people really like, you know, and he can actually go for running for president and people will vote for him. And I don't know, I kind of get that vibe now, and I guess that's an influence. I guess that's an inspiration, which I never would have picked up on before. It's a pretty good show, by the way. The first 2 seasons about Pablo Escobar are pretty good.
Jonah, they've entered the dig site.
I never finished 3, though.
And there's a guard at the gate. I'll find another way in.
I found a good spot. I'll watch the perimeter.
Speaking of TV, I am all about House of the Dragon at the moment, which I didn't watch as it was coming out, but now that it's all finished, oh my god. It's a lot better than I was expecting. Okay, so we don't want to follow them directly. We're going to move around here. We're going to get into the first action sequence of the game now. Scramble over the wall. Lose our mask. Our hood. So there are, of course, a bunch of outfits and things, too.
There's got to be more to these ruins.
If I had played New Game Plus, we could have customized a lot already, but...
A Maya pyramid inside some sort of cave.
New Game Plus makes this game a bit too easy, because you just get all your unlocks really, really quickly. Again, look, it's like that wheel motif, right?
Take him into the ruins. He'll be far enough out of earshot. No, please. Don't make this harder than it needs to be.
It says press tab to view map. I don't think there's anything I should really do. So here you see, we've already travelled a good chunk of all of this, just walking through the town. You know, there wasn't even anything
It's your
really
own
going on
fault.
there.
Would you get it over with already? They want us back ASAP.
Okay, so yeah, stealth. We got a stealth sequence here.
I'm a government official.
Same as in the previous games. Hide in the bush. Make sure people don't see you.
Lead archaeologist. Your employment has been terminated.
I like this.
No, I have money. I can pay you.
I like this here because I think we can just wait and we never have to shoot. And the guy's actually safe. I like to think here that the guy with the gun is actually a decent guy and he's going through a crisis of conscience right now. He's not just waiting for us to shoot him because it's just real. But yeah, so these guys are killing archaeologists, hiding whatever has been discovered. So we get to be the hero. Of course, there is another bit of this tonal mismatch, which I've talked about a lot in the Survivor trilogy, where they're like...
You work for Trinity. What did they find?
Well, they've been searching for a temple entrance for many years. Today they found it. I have to go warn my sister. She's on her way here now.
There's this tonal mismatch with the Survivor trilogy where it's like, you know, they treat
Jonah,
everything really serious
Trinity
and
just tried
gritty.
to kill a local archaeologist.
Oh god.
I have to find what they're looking for.
And then the gameplay involves Lara beating the absolute shit out of everyone and going on a murdering, killing spree. Also, yeah, this is always, like I said, I've tried to LP this multiple times. This is such a hard game to LP because they constantly cut in with the dialogue, constantly. Like, especially in these stealth sequences, in a second, right, you're going to see that I'm sitting... Oh, this is such a good shot of the moon, by the way. The moon is a big deal in this game, and I love this. They constantly, while you're in the stealth section, they just keep talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. It never ends. I mean, that's quality, I suppose.
Ishal, the goddess of the full moon. Oh, and this is Shakshal, the new moon.
Very important here.
Shakshal, the key lies beyond her gaze. The key. This is it. The entrance must be down there.
Okay.
To make my way down.
We've got to listen to this.
Ishal and Shakshal are two faces of the same goddess. Ishal is the young woman and represents life and healing. She's associated with the full moon. Shakshal is the old woman and represents death. She is associated with the new moon. Together as the twins, symbols of duality in the cycle of life and death.
Okay, so remember the other artifact we had earlier, the picture? It said if you're seeking the twins, These are the twins. This is kind of what this game's about, okay? This goddess, the twin god of the moon, okay? Ixchel and Shakshel. Now, I'll give you guys a little bit of advice for as we play along here and as we enjoy this game. It's really good to get it very clear in your head who's Ixchel and who's Shakshel. If you're not clear about that, it kind of sucks, all right? So, I invented a little memory trick, because I kept forgetting. A little memory trick, so that you'll know always who's who. Okay, so Ixchel. Who's Ixchel? Which one is it? Is it new moon, full moon? Is it young woman, life? Is it old woman, death? Which one is it? Ixchel, there's only 2 letters, right, in Ix. So there's less numbers. So she's young, okay? And the young woman, you know, the young woman is the one you want to, you know, date. The young woman is the one you want to take to bed, all right? The young woman will get pregnant and bring life and healing, okay? The Shakshel has more letters, more numbers. That makes her old. And old people, you know, you don't get pregnant. You know, they've gone through the menopause or whatever, right? And the new moon, there is no moon anymore. It's darkness in the sky, okay? So that's how I know it. The one with the longer name is the older twin. The one with the shorter name is the younger one that you want to mate with. Which is a terrible way of remembering it, but that's how it eventually stuck for me. Ixchel and Shakshel, okay? Less numbers is the young one. More numbers is the old one. And the young one is the full moon. And the old one is, you know, there is no moon. It's pretty easy to follow, really, after that point. By the way, do you see over there? There's a storm and lightning struck. Get a little bit of a taste of how gorgeous the game is here, but it's dark, and whenever it's nighttime, it's never quite as pretty, right? But yeah, and look, they give us this thing about the moon gods, with the moon right there, beautifully framed. So a little bit of platforming here, and hopefully I do well on this with the hard mode setting on. Unfortunately, we are getting to about the length of how long I wanted this video to go on for. So I'll see how far I can get. There's a really cool cutscene. We sort of don't know what the game's about yet, right? We're just following Trinity around. It's not very thrilling yet, is it? Right. Something major's about to happen. But I guess that will have to be part 2, actually.
This is Commander Rourke. I want the site secured ASAP. When Dr. Dominguez arrives, we all go in together.
Oh yeah, okay, so this rappelling thing, this is also new, as far as I remember. Careful, Lara. I don't think this was in the other games, and it's alright. You know, it's kind of a thing with Tomb Raider. You tap E there to recover and keep going. It's kind of a thing with Tomb Raider, like even going back to the classic era, where the idea is you have a limited move pool, and every new game they expand on it in some way.
All units, get ready. Dr. Dominguez is on his way down.
You know, she'll learn to climb ropes, she'll learn to zip line, she'll learn to, you know, walk a tightrope or search in lockers and chronicles or whatever. They, you know, they always expand on it. So I do like how the Survivor trilogy continued to do that as well. This is quite elaborate here as well. We come down. So here, usually there's like white chalk under me, but now I look for like the fungusy kind of... Oh god, have we gone a bit low? No, I think we're... It's not really fungus, is it? It's like old coral or something. But yeah, we got a wall run and then jump. I might actually fail this. You might see my first death here. No, we're alright. This whole sequence reminds me a little bit of the start of Uncharted 4 as well.
She was looking at that cave.
And I think, by the way, the Uncharted is one of the things that sort of ruined Tomb Raider for me, this game in particular. It was around when this came out that I played Uncharted 1, 2, 3, and 4. And Uncharted 4 is such a good game. Look at the skull there. But yeah, this reminds me of the sequence where you're breaking into the prison or whatever in that game at the start of that. And it's just like, there's just no comparison, really.
Jonah,
it's like when you realise the grass is greener.
Cave. We may lose contact.
Copy that. I'll keep an eye on Trinity out here.
Get a little bit of frame drop coming in there. So yeah, there is obviously a lot of collecting and crafting and things for us to do. We can just climb through there, surely. Yeah. I'll teach you guys all about that. It's actually very useful, and I really like the control scheme for it. Once we get to the combat sequences.
This cave looks like it's usually underwater.
So yeah, this is our first tomb. So look, this is a short video. I don't think they're all going to be this short, but I kind of wanted episode 1 to be a bit shorter, just so people might actually click on the damn thing. So I'm going to leave it there. In the next part, we will continue on. We're going to see what the whole game's about. If you've watched the trailer, you'll know that there's some crazy shit going on. And we'll see sort of how this game actually mirrors Tomb Raider 4 a little bit, the classic Tomb Raider 4 in some ways. But yeah, we got languages that we can learn. You've got the whole rope pulling mechanic and all those kind of upgrades. Lots of fun stuff, lots to talk about. I kind of want to talk to you guys about survival instincts in this game as well, because I'm doing things a little bit differently compared to my previous playthroughs, which just had me spamming a certain button constantly. So yeah, I'll talk about that very soon. Thanks everyone for watching this. I'm so happy to finally just post these. And as for other stuff on the channel, keep your eye out, because this is not the only thing that I'm doing. December's going to be a big month, and hopefully going forwards as well. We'll see a lot of fun new ideas. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next one. Take care now, guys. I'll see you next time. Oh, and I think I've got things set up now as well, that I have an actual outro. You ready?